Ladies and gentlemen, how are you? Thanks for being here. It's nice to see everyone. I know we went pretty quick after Trish. I hope she's getting home or wherever she is, being in the truck stop. We all pray for her that she doesn't try and hop in any trucks tonight. I don't think she will. She's too smart for that. She's been around true crime too long. Give me 1 second. I just have to fix my chat box so I can see you all. There we go. It's all fixed. How is everyone? Uh, Nana Lana was here, and I hate mornings. I hate mornings. How are you? She says, wow, ping so close to 500. Maybe it'll hit tonight. Maybe we'll see. It is really cool though. Uh, Laura T was here. She says hello, Laura T. Cheryl Huffman from Palm Springs. How are you? She says so close to 500. Awesome. Yep, we will get there. I promise. Kathy Lynch says I'm here. I just had enough time to watch an old rerun of Bewitched. It's a good show. Who else is here? Let's see. Sienna's here. My friend Sienna. Hey, Sienna. How are you, darling? Good to see you. Thank you for your support of the channel. I really appreciate it. And I think, is that mostly Lux is here as well? Hey, Lux. How are you? Danny Mitchell's here. Oh my God, we have a celebrity in the house. It's Danny Mitchell. My God, what do we do? I'm starstruck. It's Danny Mitchell. Um, all right, let's get into it. Thank you all for being here. If I missed anyone, I'm sorry. I do love you. I hope I said Petunia. I did. Hey, Petunia. And Beth B. How did I miss Beth B? Oh my God. She owns literally half of the wing of Webster's and has her name on the building. I mean, how can you miss her name? It's impossible. Okay. Uh, I wanted to bring you this update. We didn't do it on Web Sleuths, but I wanted to do it here. I told you yesterday about Lily James's murder at a elite Sydney school, St Andrew's Cathedral School. Well, today, very early this morning, news broke that they had found a body. Looks like at the bottom of the cliffs, exactly where they thought it was going to be. Let me set this up, and then we'll have a look. As you can see, look at this. You got some police down here. You can just see like how sheer drop these cliff faces are. And how close some of these buildings are. Look, looks like an apartment building, and it's meters away from the edge. I mean, probably beautiful views from that apartment, but you can see why these cliffs are so notorious around Sydney. And even growing up when I was a kid, growing up in Sydney, um, I also knew about this area. It was something that we knew about. It reputation had a reputation for a place where people go to end their lives. And it's very unfortunate that that's exactly what's happened here, apparently. As you can see, I've got a new microphone. It's a work in progress. This is not the most comfortable view or thing for me. So I'm looking at getting a new mic stand that can go over here so I can speak this way and have the mic coming like over here. So, because it's a much larger microphone than what I'm used to, and it's not good on this stand. So, hey, Marilyn Landis, good to see you. Hey, Gambler, how are you, buddy? Good to see you as well. Yes, so early this morning, news broke, and I'll let you know what it says here. It says cops searching for a sports coach suspected of killing his ex-girlfriend descended on a cliffside park in Sydney's east on Friday amid reports a body had been found on the rocks below. But in an eerie twist, a close friend has claimed the pair were spotted at the same park together just 3 weeks before the brutal murder. Lily James, 21, was found dead inside the gym bathroom at Sydney's elite St Andrew's Cathedral School, where she worked as a water polo instructor just before midnight on Wednesday. She was reportedly beaten to death with a hammer. Now, when I did the show yesterday, filling in for Trish, I did mention that considering they described her head wounds as severe, I wondered if it was a heavy object like a hammer, because they said they had found something like that. Her ex-lover, Paul Thizzen, 24, had said Paul Thizzen, 24, who she had only dated for 5 weeks and recently split up, made the phone call to police hours after CCTV captured him leaving the school gym. So he made the CCTV call. I mean, he made the 000 call. That's very interesting. Police traced the 000 call to the Gap, a notorious suicide spot in Vaucluse, where they found an abandoned backpack with some of Mr. Thizen's belongings. Detective Superintendent Martin Fireman said they were they were investigating whether Mr. Thizen had killed himself in the area. On Friday morning, they set up a second crime scene 3 kilometers down the road at Diamond Bay Reserve after receiving reports there was a body on the rocks. Hmm. Did he jump from there or did the ocean take him there? That's what'll be interesting to find out. Concerned parents at the scene told news.com.au their child was close friends with Miss James and had claimed she had been seen at the same park with her suspected killer 3 weeks ago. So students, it looks like maybe students caught them together on the weekend or something like that in personal time. Here's a photo of Mr. Now, I looked up how to say his last name because I didn't know how to pronounce it yesterday, and it's pronounced like Thizen. Like, there's almost like a Z in there where the J is. It's a, Dutch last name, and, this is Lily James, his victim who he killed, apparently, suspected, allegedly. Body recovered amid hunt for suspected killer. So they're saying a police rescue crew has recovered a body from the rocks at the base of the cliffs in Vaucluse. When I was reading this morning, they were saying it could potentially take hours for them to bring the body up because the weather was so crap in Sydney overnight and this morning that the wind was hampering their efforts to get down the cliff face. And when you get the bad weather in Sydney, it tends to buffer those cliff faces. So you get a lot of updrafts up the cliff, and it really messes with the helicopters with the winches on it. And I saw some footage earlier of a helicopter, and it was like going up and down, up and down. It had quite a lot of turbulent winds underneath the cliff face. So very, very brutal. Kathy Lynch says, "Is Ping on yet?" Yes, I'm on, Kathy Lynch. Where are you? Kathy Lynch, where are you? We'll find you. She always seems to get lost somehow. I'm not sure how. Um, yeah, very sad story that someone so young felt the need to murder his lover and then throw himself off a cliff. You know, we're talking about people who are in their early 20s. It's really, really disheartening, is what I would say in a way that these young people don't know how to deal with their emotions. You can like, here's some photos of forensic or rescue police trying to get down to wherever his body is down here. You can see how treacherous this terrain is. Look at all these rock faces and steep drop offs. And here's another view. You can just see if you jumped from here, you would have no hope in hell. No hope. There's nothing. There's just rocks and ocean and sharp things. And here's a couple more of them. Look, they look like they're trying to abseil, maybe. They've got their rock climbing gear on their waist. That looks like a harness, and it looks like a back harness too. So they may have tied off around a tree or something, trying to get down there. He really made it hard for his rescuers who were trying to get his body back to his family. And it says here the publication stated the pair are believed to have met up inside the school building on Wednesday night when a fight ensued. CCTV footage obtained by police reportedly shows Mr. Thizen following Miss James into the gym bathroom before he is seen leaving the area over an hour later. 4 hours later, he returns. Oh, sorry. 4 hours later, he reportedly rang police to inform them of a body on school grounds which should be investigated. Officers soon arrived at the school where they were met with a confronting scene. Mr. Thizen, who comes from a privileged family, moved to Australia from the Netherlands in 2015 and began studying at St. Andrews. He had been a sports captain as a student, graduating in 2017. He later secured a job as a cricket and hockey coach after graduating. He spent 18 months alone in Australia during the COVID pandemic before reuniting with his family in the Netherlands. An anonymous source told the publication the 24-year-old may have been affected by this dark time. However, he noted he is not psychotic. Okay, I think you may have to have some psychotic tendencies to hit your lover over the head with a hammer and have some premeditation in doing so. What did you do? Just have a hammer in your belt every day and just happen to carry it around? I mean, you would have had to take that implement with you, right? To the crime scene. That's what I'm thinking. Let's see what people say. Kathy Lynch says, "This only happens on your lives. Maybe it's because on my live shows, it's such a short time frame. Like we normally go live within about half an hour or 20 minutes. So maybe that's what's causing the issue with not going live for you. Next time, you can probably just take note of the time and at that time, just refresh and see if it's gone live, if that helps you, a bit of a trick. Um, yeah, it's concerning. I would like to know what these two background other than boyfriend and girlfriend were and why the breakup was so volatile for someone who's only been dating 5 weeks. Was he some sort of obsessed? Like, was he obsessed with her when he was at school, at the same school? Was he obsessed with her? And then when he finally became a graduated student and got a job there, was his whole aim to date her? I wonder if maybe something like that. Sorry, my cat's being weird. I want to know the more of the background between these two and what would cause that after 5 weeks. If his friend's saying he's not psychotic, it's a bit strange. I mean, maybe a year, 2 year romance where your lives are so entangled that, a breakup is so serious, but 5 weeks? Some kids don't even consider that a relationship these days. So, says, I reckon he was obsessed. Yeah, I have a funny feeling that he had a crush on her when he was a student at that place, and he literally stayed in Australia and got a job there to try and court her and date her, and then he did, and then she realized he was a little too full on, and she broke up with him. Because girls don't really like that. Like in the early stages of the relationship, if you come on a bit too strong, the only thing you're going to do is push that girl away. So they're going to be like, you're a bit of a stage 5 clinger, and they're going to get rid of you. Nana Lana, what did she say? Nana Lana says she always agrees with Danny Mitchell. It's a smart move. Always agree with celebrities. So always agree with Danny Mitchell. He's a great celebrity. Um, yeah, yeah, it is very sad that they're so young. I think it's very sad that he's obviously been away from his parents for a long time too, living as a student and then an adult in Sydney by himself. Maybe it's a lack of support network or lack of family didn't help because it said that he had such a hard time during the pandemic when he couldn't see his parents. Maybe that also played into it being so isolated in Australia. I don't know. But there was another story here, if I can find it. Yeah. It says police recover body in hunt for ex lover of slain 21-year-old Lily James. 17. If he was 17 in that year, maybe they went to school together at the same school as students, because that means they're roughly the same age, right? Let me see. It says here a police rescue crew has recovered a body from the rocks at the base of the cliffs in Vaucluse. Police investigating the murder of the 21-year-old water polo instructor Lily James have been securing the area and searching the area since Thursday, and on Friday morning raced to the edge of the cliffs at Diamond Bay where they found the body. That's a police and rescue people. It is a lot. Maybe I'll give a video there. There you guys go. You can see where they roped it off. They've so he must be down there somewhere at the base of this cliff face. Imagine being the cops that have to do that rescue. There you go, there's more of them. Yeah, this was the helicopter I saw, and these guys were having a hard time because of all the wind, and they kept dropping. And I mean, that must be very difficult rescue to do right next to the cliff face because you don't have a lot of room for error, being that there's a flat surface like to your left. Like you really don't have a lot of leeway with how you can control the helicopter in severe weather. Because if not, you hit a cliff face and then you crash. So there's a police forensic tent set up in the area. I wonder how he got there. Look at all this overgrowth of trees and stuff. You can see it here too. There's a lot of plant material. You would think like, how did he get down there? I guess he could have just jumped off here. It's interesting. I do wonder if maybe he didn't jump here and he jumped at the gap where they thought he did, where his car was, and then his body got swept up here overnight, and then that's how they found it because it got brought with the tides to another position. Hmm. I don't think we have any more information than that though. It just says the Sydney Morning Herald cited police sources not authorized to speak publicly on the investigation, who also said Miss James was wounds were inflicted by a hammer. Daily Mail also corroborated those claims that it was a hammer. Uh, yeah, I don't think this has any new information, even though they're saying it's a new article. You know, the students that knew these two teachers will have to cope with this too. They just lost two of their teachers, sports teachers, and they'll have to live with that, knowing that there was a violent murder that happened at their school and to two people who they trusted as kids. So I hope the school kids are doing okay too. All right. I think we've done enough now. It's a good update. Let me see. You guys are saying Kathy Lynch is getting stuck in the portal. She could be. She could be. All right. Let's do an update on Richard Card because I do have some things to show you. Yesterday, last night, we couldn't find a good timeline for Richard Card, but I uploaded one just before and I will show you here because people last night were asking us, like, what was the actual timeline of events? And here you can see it. 6:56 p.m. Shooting reported at Spare Time Recreation, and then at 7:08, a shooting was reported at Schmengi's Bar and Grill, and then at 8 p.m., an hour later, photo of active shooter released to media, and then 9 minutes later, Bates College got put on lockdown, and then you can see it just kind of progressed, but it was at 6:56 p.m. was the shooting at the bowling alley, the first shooting, and then less than 10 minutes later, the shooting at Smengi's Bar and Grill. So it was a very quick thing between the two places, and it progressed through the night where we were watching it, and then about 8:30, Lewiston residents are ordered to shelter in place. An hour later, the photos of the vehicle are released. 11 p.m. Robert Card's name is released as a person of interest. Card's vehicle found at the boat ramp, and then 11:52, just before midnight, Lisbon residents ordered to shelter in place, and then over 6 hours later, Bowden residents ordered to shelter in place, and then many hours later after that, 10:30 a.m., police confirm 18 dead and 13 injured. So we never got the 22 that some media outlets were reporting last night. I know a lot of people were running with that number, but nothing. I didn't see anyone corroborate that number. Only 18, unfortunately. I Hate Morning says maybe Ping has an Australian stalker. What? I don't have a stalker. I don't want one. Why would I have an Australian stalker? Danny Mitchell says, "Did they get him?" They got the body of the guy we were speaking about before, about Lily James's murder. They got his body. This guy, Robert Card, as far as I know, the house they searched earlier, they didn't have. They haven't found him yet. Kathy Lynch says, "Why did some people think he hit Walmart? I don't think it was a Walmart as such, like a store. I think it was a Walmart distribution center, and I don't know where that information came from, but a couple of newspapers did have it as a report of a active scene. I don't know where that information came from though." Danny Mitchell says, "I stalk Ping. I know, it's interesting being stalked by a celebrity. It's sort of like the reverse of what celebrities go through. Normally they have the stalkers and I have a celebrity that stalks me. It's very interesting." Uh, I don't have anything in relation to um, the Walmart, but over about what was it, about 2 hours ago? Let me just double check this. The suspect, Robert Card, is still at large. Shooting unfolded in two locations. They don't give a third. Just the bowling alley and the local bar that was Schmengi's. Some witness testimony has come out today about what happened in the bowling alley. Megan Hutchinson, who was at the bowling alley with her daughter, said, "When I turned around, I saw the shooter. I don't know if that was just a warning shot or if he shot somebody with that bullet. Between the lanes, there was some swinging doors where they keep all the mechanical stuff out back. So we kind of all just ran that way. We barricaded in there, and another parent was in the room with me. We had a phone. She called 911. Her daughter, 10-year-old Zoe, was grazed by a bullet. She said, I never thought I'd grow up and get a bullet in my leg. Like, why do people do this? I was more worried about, like, am I going to live and am I going to make it out of here? Like, what's going to happen? Are the cops going to come?" That was a 10-year-old little girl who was just there to bowl, not do anything else, and she's now questioning her life and why bad things happen to her. That's very sad. It's very, very sad. Um, it says here, Card had affiliations at both targeted locations, according to sources. A law enforcement source with direct knowledge tells ABC News Robert Card had affiliations with the two locations he allegedly targeted. And an ex-girlfriend is connected to one of the locations, according to the source. We don't think this was completely random. The suspect also appears to have been fairly thoughtful about eluding police. He left behind a cell phone that authorities have recovered, apparently suspecting it could be tracked. Hmm. And then it's about 2 hours ago, it says the search that we all watched, if you were watching the coverage a couple of hours ago, they were at a home in Bowden, and they had like a bullhorn, and they were telling him to come out, and everyone thought, "Oh, this is the moment we're going to see him get arrested, and this whole manhunt is going to be over." And they wind down that. A bunch of cops leave. They search the property, and we haven't heard anything else since. And it says here, a large number of police vehicles that had surrounded a property tied to suspect Robert Card on Thursday have departed. The search at this location seems to have gone quiet, with most of the authorities having left the scene. A source familiar with the search in Bowden tells ABC News there is no expectation the suspect will be apprehended at that location tonight. The source said this search and the dramatic accompaniments were part of standard procedure for safely carrying out a search warrant. Police will be doing this repeatedly as they try to retrieve evidence. They say they're being thorough by tracking down every lead. There we go. So it's just their standard operating procedure when they're doing a risk. Oh, I got to take this down. Sorry, guys. There you go. Thanks for letting me know. I look crazy talking to a red thing for about 10 minutes. There we go. And Marilyn Landis says, just broke up with his girlfriend, I heard. Are you talking about Robert Card? That's very interesting if true. Yes, Marilyn Landis says, heard there were kids bowling there. Yes, apparently there was about, I don't know, a group full of kids doing some sort of event at that location, which is very awful to think. You could have had a massive massacre of children. I don't know how many children have died. Actually, I do have a, hold on. I do have a suspect thing. I'll show you. Where is it? This one? If it'll upload. There we go. So here you can see some of the victims that were named in the media tonight. Trisha Aslin, Arthur Strout, Peyton Brewer Ross, Ron Moran, and Bob Violet, Joseph Walker, and Joshua Seal were named as victims in the media today. Very, very sad. It's interesting that there's sort of a demographic here of older white guys, which is interesting. Like these all look like mostly, at least this grouping does, of sort of the same kind of dude. It's only one woman, only one female. I don't know what that's about. Was he targeting men for some reason? He had something against guys? Because don't you find that a little weird when you have a bowling alley full of people and a bar full of people that most of the victims are men? I don't know. I find that a bit strange. Yes, Marilyn Landis says older guys. I agree. It's a little weird. Maybe we'll find out that was part of his paranoia or whatever he had, that mental illness. Yeah, it's a bit strange, guys and girls. I don't know what is causing, or like what the cause of that was, to be honest. Where is my link? There we go. Um, it says here, suspect consumed like conspiracy content online. Investigation finds information provided to law enforcement shows that Robert Card appears to have interacted with conspiratorial content online. Topics he engaged with included, but were not limited to, concerns about a financial crisis, stock market crash, LGBTQ plus issues, gun rights, and commentary about Democratic public officials, including President Joe Biden. It remains unknown whether any of his social media usage played any role in the suspect's decision to go on his rampage Wednesday night. Law enforcement has not determined a motive, but they are looking into several aspects of the suspect's life, including his writings and histories of mental health problems. Yeah, And then that was the thing earlier. That was that search that they had a bunch of photos. I wonder if I can show you one from earlier on the ABC feed. Let's see if I've got one. Yeah, here. So that's one of the armored vehicles that was at the scene at the time when they were doing the search warrant. And I might have one at the house. It looks like a Bearcat, but I don't know if it is. And this is the scene from the reporters, right? They were saying the cops were asking them to turn off their lights of their vehicles, cars, and any type of like lighting equipment they had on their cameras because they were worried that they might be shot at or something like that. They were worried about it was a dangerous situation and they didn't want them to be targets, I guess. But they asked them to turn off all their lighting and they seem to have abided by that, and it was quite dark. The only lights you can see were the cops using spotlights to light up the property down there over the hill at the time. But they did this for about an hour or so and then nothing. Oh, guys, hold on. Hey, naughty cat, get out of here. Hey, bro. Yeah. Sorry, guys. Rory is very naughty. She likes to eat her brother's food. Sorry about that. We've been having this problem where the orange cat that you guys always see is eats his food very slowly, and recently, the other cat, the big fluffy one, has started to eat his food when he's not eating it. She hasn't done that ever in the millions of years we've had her, and just recently she's discovered that, oh, I like his food, and she started to, you know, gobble up his entire plate of food when he's not there. So it's been a big problem this week. Yeah, naughty kitty. She's very naughty. She shouldn't be doing that. And it's prescription food, so she's not supposed to be eating it anyway. Hey Rose, we're back. Uh, Tony Mitchell says, I am the great Cornholio. TP for my bunghole. Yeah, it's a pretty funny movie. Charlie, hey Charlie, good to see you. Good to see you guys. All right, let's move on. I don't really have anything else tonight, and judging by the ABC feed, they're now showing like an up late show, like whoever those comedians are that do the late shows at night. I'm not sure which one it is, but that's it. And all the blogs have kind of shut down too. All the live blogs, they're sort of gone home for the night. So I guess we're not getting any more information today about that shooting. And I don't see anything. If I check the flight patterns as well, there's no flights over this area either. No, I can show you actually here. Look, there's no flights over that area where they were earlier today. There's Lewiston right there. And normally we had flights circling all around here and up here and searching for him. But especially this river, they had a lot of flights, especially last night, checking all down this river, flying up here, checking the water backwards and forwards and around here. But tonight, as you can see, there's no more search helicopters out tonight. I don't know if they've gone home to refuel or they're going to try again at first light. I have no idea. But they're just no more. All right, hold on. Although they say here, the U.S. Coast Guard, the U.S. Coast Guard has joined the hunt for the suspected mass murderer Robert Card after a boat belonging to the 40-year-old was discovered to be missing. The messenger reports authorities believe the armed and dangerous Army reservist may have escaped aboard his 15-foot Bayneir boat and are hunting for the 40-year-old in the Kennebec River. The Coast Guard has launched a surveillance plane and boats out to Booth Bay to join the manhunt for the accused mass killer. That already includes local, county, state, and federal agents. Okay, You think he planned this and went on his boat and took off down the river? The Coast Guard boat with 5 armed guardsmen was patrolling the Kennebec River on Thursday, searching for Mr. Card but focusing on the northern shore of the waterway near its confluence with the Androscoggin River, which flows past Lewiston, a source told the messenger. And then they're talking about, uh, hey, what are you doing up here? Hey, you're going to just sit there, are you? Okay. You guys can't see her. Oh, you can see her little ears right here. Hey, what are you doing? There you go. That's all you'll ever see of her. Um, yes, they're saying he may have taken one of his boats that he owns is missing, so he may have taken it. We'll find out, I guess. If he did take it, I'm sure there's something that they could check to see if it passed a river or, there's got to be cameras that are on those like docks or something like that where they could check and see if his registered boat went past. I'm sure they have that type of surveillance, especially with $1 million boats and fisheries and things like that. Of course, they've got cameras, so it may just take time to look for it. Oh, Moonlight View says maybe, or a sea-doo. They said he owned a sea-doo. You'd think they'd find that pretty quick, right? A sea-doo, because it's just a jet ski. I mean, a dude on a jet ski, you'd probably see it. I mean, you could do that from a helicopter. Hey, Tonic, how are you? Good to see you, Catatonic. What are you doing up this late? All right, give me 1 second. I'm just going to have a drink and then we're going to talk about a different subject. All right. So I want to talk about this and then I'm going to show you something. Recently, I had a couple of people contact me and said that scammers had contacted them pretending to be me, asking them for money, asking them to join um, some sort of Telegram channel and that I needed their help and things like this. One, I will never ask you to do that. Two, I will never ask you for your personal information. And three, I will never ask you privately for money, ever. I don't do that. We only accept donations to the PayPal link, and that's it. And everyone who donates always is recognized and, like, is put on the thumbnail on a Sunday night. So I told the person how to, sort of get out of that situation and what to look for. So I'm going to talk about it with you guys too. A lot of us all have people who are a little older in our lives, people who need the help or are not, you know, techno techno literate. They maybe just know how a computer works, but they don't really understand the broad scheme of everything that can happen online. So this is a little bit of notes I wrote about it. So it says here, the first thing I want to talk to you about is the best piece of advice I've ever received. If you are in any doubt, if you have that niggling feeling that who you are speaking to is not like official or correct, hang up the phone and find the number for whoever you are speaking to online, not from the device. Like, say, if you got a Microsoft message that popped up on your computer, use a different device that may not be infected with a spyware or virus and find the real number that is located on their website or in the white pages or something like that, and call the number back to the company. Ask them, is this what's going on? Do I owe this? Do I need to do X, Y, and Z? Don't just trust people who call you on the phone that they have your best interests at heart. Always double check. Always. Yeah, okay, so that's the first thing. That's the first bit of advice I was ever told in security, and it still applies today. Never send any money to anyone online that you cannot verify who they are or you don't know personally. Not, not someone who called you. There's a reason Amazon, banks, and other companies send out emails advising you that they will never ask for your personal information, never ask for money, and never ask for gift cards. They won't ask for that. It's just not how they do things. That's why they send these type of emails out to people. The other thing is, one of the most insidious scams I've ever encountered is the following one, and I'm going to talk to you about it and how it works. It's really brutal and it's claimed a lot of victims, even very smart people, including in Australia. It's called man in the middle attack, or it's got a different name, but I call it man in the middle because it's very similar to how man in the middle attacks work. Now, when you're talking about this scam, normally it's done in a different way. Man in the middle is intercepted DNS and it redirects you somewhere else. So, say you want to go to Amazon, but it'll send you to like a fake Amazon, and then you'll put your credit card or login information, and it'll get stolen. That's a typical man in the middle attack. This one's done slightly in a different way, and I'm going to give you an example of how it works. You are selling your property or you're buying a property and you have a real estate agent. They they sell your property or they put it up for sale and they email you all the documents and things like that. Everything looks like it's going well. And then at the end, they send you something like, oh, we expect your payment to this bank account within 72 hours to, secure your down payment or pay the conveyancer or something like that. What happens in this instance is your real estate your real estate's email has been compromised and someone has got into their email and they are sending you an email looking like your real estate agent and those banking details are not correct. You'll send that money and then in 2 weeks time you will get an email or a phone call from your real estate and they will tell you, "Hey, we're still waiting on that money. Where is it?" And you will start freaking out because you'll be like, "Oh my god, I already sent it. What are you talking about?" They will figure out that they've been compromised and you will have lost your money and possibly the property that you were liking. So the advice refers to number 1, ever dealing with large amounts of money online, refer to rule number 1. Always call the company. Call them. I don't care. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's $80. If you think it's a bit weird or you just want to double check, ring them back and double check over the phone with the real company that those banking details are their banking details. It might save you from losing like 200 grand. There was like several victims in Australia who lost millions. They lost millions of dollars from buying properties that they were supposed to buy, and scammers got that money. So it can happen to anyone, and it's really, really hard to detect. The only thing you can do is call your real estate and just double check before you do anything that could really screw yourself over because you're not covered. Um, the real estates in Australia that got done with this, they did not compensate their victims for their loss, even though it was their email that was compromised. Even though it wasn't the victim's email that was compromised, it was the real estate. The victim was tough. It was just tough luck. They just didn't take any responsibility, and those people were out millions. So be very cautious about any details that are sent to you via email. Emails can be manipulated and can be manipulated without the other side even knowing. A lot of the times, these real estates and conveyancing companies and stuff like that, they had no idea their accounts were compromised. Yet these people got emails asking for payment. So it's really really hard to deal with. But like I said, the best thing you can do is call them and make sure those details match their details. Um, Yeah, always ask for information over the phone. The other thing is never ever send Western Union. Western Union gift cards, anything that sounds like that, any kind of weird payment thing online, unless it's something like PayPal or whatever those ones in America are that people use, what's it called, Zello or whatever. Um, the things that like Cash App, that type of thing, they're okay, and you can trace those. But anything that's untraceable, like wire transfer, stuff like that. Just no, just don't worry about it. The thing is, in the real world, nothing is paid for in iTunes gift cards. Nothing. Nothing. No company or IRS or anything like that is ever paid for with iTunes gift cards. And I don't mean to laugh or giggle. It sounds crazy, right? But people do it all the time. The other thing I'm going to tell you about is this, and this is a real easy way to spot you've been scammed. If you're talking to someone and they want you to send them money and they want you to lie to your bank about why you're sending that money. So say they're like, "Oh, if your bank asks you to like why you're sending this large amount of money," and they want you to say, "Oh, it's for business," or it's personal," or something like that, they are trying to circumvent the bank's scam watch. So oftentimes the banks will ask you these questions to see if you're being scammed. And the scammers have cottoned on to that now. And that's why they tell people, victims, uh, like to say a certain thing to the bank. So if someone ever tells you to say something very particular to the bank when you're sending money, That's a very big red flag that you are being scammed right now. And any money you send is not going to pay off your debts or IRS, or it's not going to get you a lottery or whatever. So just make sure you know and keep an eye on stuff like that. And the other thing is, one of the things you can look for is time. And how does that make sense, Ping? Well, in the real world, most things are done in days. So most companies or whatever, they'll allow you to pay your bills in a day or two, sometimes even a week or two, a month or two, whatever. Scammers deal in minutes. So it's always minutes or hours. Oh, in 90 minutes, if you don't pay, the IRS is going to send a cop card to your home. If you don't pay in 20 minutes, like blah, blah, blah will happen. Look at that. If someone's threatening you with minutes and time to comply with something, it's most likely not real. And again, apply number one. Ring whoever they say they are, and try and verify the information. Don't just take it from someone that's on the phone to you. You know, we all think we're pretty clever, but these scams can get even the best of us. And you know, you just got to keep on your toes. Make sure you're checking everything, and don't just get complacent with stuff. And don't just believe whatever someone's telling you on the phone. What else was I going to say here? The other thing is, most companies have hardship policies to help people that are struggling or behind on their bills, that type of thing. They'll set up payment plans or bill smoothing. They're not going to ring you and say, "Whoa, there's going to be a police car at your home in half an hour if you don't pay us $5,000 because you owe the IRS or whatever." Even the IRS has like some forgiveness type plans that you can get into. So just remember that. And the other thing is, don't give in. You being calm and critical in your thinking is your best weapon, and it'll keep you from losing your money, losing your ID, and feeling very silly once you figure it out a few days later when you calm down and then start backtracking through it. So I hope my TED talk has been useful, but I get a lot of people wanting me to talk about scams because of my cybersecurity type thing. Is, I try and provide the information where I can, and I just try to show people red flags and stuff like that. But so Nanalana says, if I do not know the number, I never answer the call. That's a good one too. If you don't know the number, don't answer the call. Cheryl Huffman says, so important to trust your gut. I was scammed out of $1,500 in an effort to purchase a golden doodle puppy, but I had a gut feeling something was wrong. Scammers will play on your emotions. They will. They'll say your kids are being kidnapped, or, you have to do it now, or all sorts of things. Marilyn Lander says, have caller ID on your phone when call comes in on landline, basically spam calls. Mm-hmm. Nanalana says, how sweet of Ping to care about us to explain all this info. So the thing is, I just don't want to see people ever get scammed of anything. And it's so easy. I've heard of so many people being scammed out of like their retirement money and 60,000 here or 20,000 there. And if we can just give people a little bit of knowledge of what to look out for and the type of scams that these victims do, it gets much harder for the scammers to actually get victims. Now, what I read through is a very, very short list of things, and I could spend about 5 hours going through different types of, techniques and things that they do. But they're the three that normally get a lot of elderly people. Just remember the iTunes thing. Anyone ever ask you for iTunes or Western Union or some weird payment service you've never heard of? It's a massive red flag. Just walk away. Oh, the other thing I have on here is you will never get in trouble for hanging up your phone and ignoring your phone. No one is ever going to come and arrest you for hanging up your phone. If you never feel comfortable about whoever you're speaking to on the phone, it's your phone number. Just hang up. You know what I mean? It's just you have no obligation to stay on the phone with anyone and listen to their rubbish. Just hang up, ignore them, and then go back to step number one. Call the company who they are claiming to be and go from there. Same with anything that pops up on your computer. If you ever see something that's um, like Microsoft has said there's a problem with your computer and you have to call this number to get the problem fixed, find Microsoft's real number, not from your computer because your computer is now infected. Find it from your phone or the white pages or something you can trust, and call Microsoft directly and verify. But Microsoft doesn't ask for money like that anyway. But yeah, don't believe things that pop up on your computer like that. It's not a real thing. Microsoft won't ask for money like that. So look, I don't know how many people that little speech will help, but if it saves one person from not getting 20 grand taken from their bank account or whatever, then that's worth it. It's worth wasting a third of my show to help someone. Burnt Popcorn says, I feel sorry for normal, above board people with Indian accents. Yeah, they unfortunately, a few people from their country make it harder for the rest of them, unfortunately. They really do. But there's a channel that I want people to go watch. There's a lot of them out there, and there's quite a few that do a great job. But the one I find most entertaining, at least, is a company called Trilogy Media. And they do a really good job at showing different types of call scams, and you can see the type of techniques that these call scammers use to get your money. So, if you want to know more about it, head to Trilogy Media on YouTube and watch some of their videos. You'll have more than enough knowledge to keep yourself safe for sure. Kathy Lynch says, thank you for speaking on this. Our bank actually calls us when a transaction doesn't look right to them. So, a lot of the times, it's not about credit card payments. A lot of the times, they'll do other things to get you to send cash. They'll ask you to mail cash, even. A lot of the times, they'll ask you to take money out of your account and mail it to them through FedEx or something like that. And they'll say, put 20 grand in a package and send it via FedEx. And you may think that sounds really dumb and oh wow, I would never send cash in a box on FedEx or whatever. But there's so many people who are a little bit older who didn't grow up with computers and are just not quite as um, knowledgeable about online and scammers and things like that who think this is a perfectly okay way to do things. Just if anyone ever asks anything to do anything like that, sending cash via mail or iTunes cards, or I know I keep saying that, but iTunes cards seem to come out a lot. Anything like that, just no, walk away. Uh, yeah, they come up with all sorts of crazy things, but go watch Trilogy Media and see. There was a lady on there that sent, I think it was like $60,000 in a box to a scammer. 60 grand. And it was lucky. I think they intercepted it before the scammer got it and got her cash back to her. And she's like, "Oh, they seemed like really trustworthy people and they're going to fix all my problems." And I really believed them. The other thing, too, is if we have any people who are a little bit lonely, and look, it's not embarrassing. It's not embarrassing to talk about. We all want someone who loves us, right? We all want to feel loved. If you're one of these people who are interested in online dating, just be aware there are a lot of scammers in online dating, and that if you are ever asked to ever finance anything, spend money anything before you have even met, dated, had sex with anything, went on a date to the movies, had dinner, I don't care what it is, you yeah, it's a scam. Okay? So don't send the money, don't do anything like that, you know, nothing like that. Yeah, I could do another show on uh I've got a mental blank right now, but someone's talking about passwords. I could do an entire 2-hour show on like phishing emails and spear phishing and stuff like that. And I could do like, yeah, a long, long show about that type of things. But just never click things in your email that you're not 100% sure of. And then again, repeat the step one, go to the real website and then check it out. See if you can do a password reset from the real website and just, yeah, Do it like that. Don't click things in your email unless you 100% know what it is or you requested it. So maybe one day I'll do another one on like spear phishing and um, online threats. Burnt Popcorn says, I'm waiting for my Nigerian prince. You guys think it's funny, but it happens so often, man. It happens so often that people get scammed out of their money because they're falling in love with someone and they're like, but I know them. I spent 6 months talking to them. They know me. I trust them. Apparently, there was a lady who sent $250,000 of her retirement money and money she got from when her husband died to a guy who ended up being in Africa. And even after an intervention by her family, she still sent more money to them. She still kept sending money behind her family's back, even though they told her it was a scam. She was so emotionally invested in it that she kept going with it. So, just be real careful. I don't want to see any of my viewers, friends, you know, Web Sleuth's family ever get scammed out of their money. And again, to bring us back to the start of what I was talking about, I will never ask you for money in private, ever. I will never do it. I just won't do it. People who speak to me in private will know that. I'm just not that type of person. And the only way I accept money is from the public available PayPal link that's on every video or the bot in the chat post for me. That's it. I will never contact you personally and ask. Not once. Not ever, ever. So Wu says, I got a letter from Spain that said I was, what is it? The inheritor of so many hundreds of thousands of euros. Oh, lucky you. I have about 50 of those in my email. I have like heaps of them. One says I'm a lottery winner from Germany and I just got to pay 200 grand to release my $25 million and stuff like that. I know it seems funny to us because we sort of understand, but some people are not as knowledgeable. Uh, Moonlight View says that's why we love Ping and Trisha. Yeah. Hold on 1 minute. There is a device you can buy. It's called like Scam Buster, and you can connect it to your home line, and it'll actually kill off like 90% of scam calls for you. If that's something you're interested in, they do sell them on Amazon and things like that, and they'll actually filter your calls for you. You can get them for mobile too in the App Store, and it'll stop you from getting a lot of like call center and scam calls and stuff like that, spam calls. All right. So we had a little show tonight. I hope you enjoyed it. Uh, I have to thank Robin Lane again. I don't know if she heard it the other night. I'm not sure if she was there, but she sent in a donation, and I just don't know if she heard it. It was like 2 nights ago. Robin Lane, I really appreciate it. I hope you heard your thank you on websleuths.com the other night. I do. Sorry, shouldn't have done that into the mic. Gambler says, I got a scam from PayPal the other day. It said there was a problem with my payment going through. I checked my bank and it had been withdrawn. Actually, Gambler, was that the one that you sent to me by any chance? Was that the donation you sent to me a couple of weeks ago? Because that one acted really weird for a while and it sat in pending for like over 2 weeks. So maybe that may have been. I'm not saying don't click on the link or anything. I'm just saying maybe it was related. But, I just thought you said that you just set it up, so I was like, maybe there was like a hold period because it was a brand new account, and I thought maybe that was what was going on. So that's why I didn't bother reaching out to you. I just left it because I thought you would just have it under control. But Catatonic, thank you, Ping, and good folks. Catch you soon. Catatonic, come back again. I hope you do. It was nice to see you. I know it's really late. Um, we are really close to the 500 subscriber mark. I want people to do one thing for me. If you have a friend that loves true crime and you think they should know about this channel, I want you to reach out to them and ask them to come and subscribe on this channel. I would really appreciate that because if we can get every person to get one friend to come here, we'll have the 1,000 people we need. We need to hit that 1,000 person mark at some point. That would be very handy. So if you could do that for Ping, I would appreciate it. Let me see if I've got one more story we can end the night with that isn't a scam story. I always have things put away for us, so hold on. I don't know if you guys have watched the documentary on this woman. It's one of the most heartbreaking ones I've ever watched. British backpacker Grace Millane. Milane's mom has opened up about how his daughter's killer destroyed her life. Millane from Wickford in Essex says she doesn't think about Jessie Shane Kempson, who strangled her daughter Grace, 21, to death while she was on a trip in New Zealand in 2018. Kempson, then 28, brutally murdered his Tinder date Grace and then hid her body in a forest where it lay undiscovered for 8 days. He claimed they engaged in consensual rough sex when she died. The killer was sentenced to 17 years behind bars without parole after he lost his final appeal against his murder conviction. There's a photo of Grace. There's a couple of documentaries about her on Netflix.
Virginia
Yeah,
elections just a couple of weeks away.
I was
One of my guests tonight running in one of the more hotly contested races for the 65th House District.
said, I
Ron
don't think
Frederick's running
about
against
him.
Lee
I
Peters, the
don't care what
Republican
happens.
candidate, up late with me tonight here
I
on the Final Five. All right, so first things first, sir.
don't
Is somebody who currently serves the public in the capacity with the
Extraordinary
Stafford County
Ordinary
Sheriff's Office,
podcast that the
why
trial
make
in
this jump
2019 was
into the
horrendous,
political
as
realm?
she had to sit in a courtroom
Well,
for
it's
days while
about
they were
protecting the career that I
annihilating
love so
her,
much. Yeah, I've
her
been doing
daughter.
this. January 4th, it'll be 20
University of
years of law
Lincoln
enforcement
graduate
service.
Grace was only
And
spending
looking
2
at some
weeks
of
in
the
New
things that's
Zealand,
happened to
following 6 in
legislation to
South
law enforcement over
America,
the past,
with hopes
4 or
to
5
travel to
years,
the
it's
Thailand,
important to me
the
to be able to
Philippines,
protect
and
those young
Australia
men
where
and
she
women and
met
allow them to do their
Kempson.
job. When you
CCTV
look at
cameras captured the
issues that
pair
came up like
embracing in
qualified
bars across
immunity
Auckland on
and,
December
just
1,
those basic
2018,
parts of
the
law
eve of
enforcement that
Grace's
threaten the
22nd
very fiber
birthday.
of what we
There's
do
a
and how
photo of
we
the
do it.
vile creature.
If I have a chance to get in
And
there
here's
and
a
sit at
photo of
the big
Grace
boys
going up to
table,
his
big girls
room, I
table,
think,
and
if I
actually
remember
fight and
correctly.
protect the career that I love, then
Grace was last seen
I'm absolutely
leaving
going to do it.
a
It's
lift to
it's
go
just
to
a privilege to be
Kempson's
able
room
to
at
be
City Life
considered
Hotel.
for
It
that
later
role.
emerged that
Being
he
hired by the
strangled
people
Grace
to go
and took
protect
intimate photos
that
of her
job. So
naked
it's
body
just I
before
love law
searching
enforcement. I
pornography
love
on
good law
his
enforcement
phone.
officers. I
Her
love
corpse
when
was
we serve the
stuffed in a
community,
suitcase and buried
and
in a shallow
making that
grave with a
job
blanket of
harder
mud
than it has to be
shoveled
is
on
just
top of
something
it
that
in
we
the
cannot allow to
Wakiri
happen.
Ranges.
You had mentioned that, and
Watakiri?
I'm glad
Yeah.
you did because something that came up in one of
Kempson
the
was caught
debates
on
you had
CCTV
with the
using a
Democratic
porter's
candidate
trolley
Josh
to wheel
Cole
two
was during
suitcases
his
into a
previous stint
lift.
in Richmond, where he had a
Tragically,
2-year
Grace's
term,
dad, David
then
Mullane, was
lost that seat
diagnosed with
2 years ago. He
non-Hodgkin's
was in favor of
lymphoma
certain
in
addressing certain police
2019 during the
maneuvers
first 3-week trial
along the
of
way, and
Kempson.
something that we
The
saw play out
cancer
across the
spread to
country, to
David's
be
brain
fair,
and
in the
he
wake of
died
George Floyd.
November
Something
2020.
that did come up in that regard.
Gillian
Is there
said
something
that
that,
was
that lawmakers that
another
you believe
disastrous
at
Christmas and
large
New
don't
Year.
necessarily
So
understand
she lost her
about your
daughter
line of work?
to murder,
Well, I think
a
there's a
really
lot of
brutal
things
murder,
said
a
about this
sexual
line of
murder,
work who
and
aren't in
then
it,
lost
and
her
the just
husband
absolute liability.
to
We teach
non-Hodgkin's
the young folks
lymphoma
coming in this
that
career.
spread to his
You have
brain and
the
killed him.
power. This is one of the few careers on
Just
earth
like a
where you
year
can
later,
suspend
2
somebody's
years
civil
later.
liberties, and you have to do that
Poor
very
lady has
responsibly,
been
and you
through
have to use great
the
care and
world's worst
regard
of
for other people's lives.
horrible
Let's
stuff.
talk about
And it
the
says
issues
here,
in this race here, because I
she
talked to
had her
Governor Youngkin a
own
couple of
battle
days
with
ago.
breast
Look,
cancer,
there's a lot of
which
money
she
going into
beat
these
shortly
races,
before
and races that
Grace's
people are paying
murder.
attention to
And the
now
two
that they always
shocking
sort of glossed over. But
and the
you
two
have a
shocking
divided
deaths,
House.
the
The control
heartbroken
is on
mom
the
said
line of
she was
that.
in such
Also
a
for the
dark,
Senate here,
lonely
you
place
look at
and pushed
Democratic
everyone
ads that say
away.
that
She
Republicans want to
explained,
outlaw
trying to find your
abortion.
path
You
on
look
this
at
road of
Republican ads
grief
that say
is a very difficult thing
Democrats
to
want to freeze
do.
parents out of
You get
their
to a point
children's
when you realize
education,
that
that they're
you're
making
the only
destructive
one that
decisions
can
there.
get
So
yourself out
somewhere
of there.
between there, what is the
Gillian is
issue
now heavily
when you go out
involved
the
with
65th
charities
district?
including
What are
White
people caring
Ribbon,
about?
which aims
Well,
to
a lot of it
prevent
is safety and
violence against
security. A
women
lot of
and
it is
girls.
people.
There's a photo of her there. I can say that my toes are always in the darkness and sometimes my feet and waist, but my head is probably more in the sun now. A new documentary called The Murder of Grace Millane will scrutinize the night of the 21-year-old's death and Kempson's subsequent trial. It will focus on the killer's defense, which felt to Gillian like her daughter was blamed in some way for going back to Kempson's hotel room, and the reaction from social media. Filmmaker Helena Cohn told Sky News, people don't really understand the prevalence of the rough sex defense. Men are getting away with the most heinous, manipulative, planned, premeditated crimes, and they are saying basically she asked for it. It's scary to see how lawyers use this defense and how juries still buy into this idea that a woman can consent to being strangled to death. There's a photo of Grace. In October 2020, Kempson was convicted on 8 charges, including unlawful sexual connection, threatening to kill, assault with a weapon, and male assault female related to offending against a former partner. He was convicted a month later of sexually violating another female British tourist in an unrelated incident. Kempson received 11-year prison sentence on the new charges to be served concurrently with his life sentence. The killer failed to have 2 other convictions dismissed earlier this year. He claimed the women in this case exaggerated their evidence of sexual violence, but the Court of Appeal in Auckland determined that there was no excessive sentence or miscarriage of justice. May he rot in his friggin' jail cell. Hurting women in such a vulnerable position, like during sex, is literally like the lowest piece of crap thing you can do. Like, a woman is so vulnerable in that position, like, that's probably why they do it, but it's just, you know, not what real men do. Not at all. It's what scumbags do. It's what scumbags do to women. You know, he's a piece of crap. I hope he friggin' dies in jail. Stop the video. Are we playing a video? I don't think we're playing a video. Wait, where is it? Sorry guys, I have like 40 links. There's no video playing. Unless there's one that I can't see. Video was playing? Really? They're so annoying, guys. It's like every time I go like that, it starts again. And then if I go like that, it starts again. I don't know how you disable these bloody things forever. I wish I could like turn them off so we don't have to ever have them. They are bloody annoying. Oh, okay. Sorry, guys. They are friggin' annoying. I gotta figure out a way to disable them. There's gotta be a way you can kill. See, there it goes again. See that? I just hovered my mouse near it and it starts playing a video. I do have a add-on on my toolbar that can zap things like in the browser on a page. So I might be able to use that and then kill off videos from now on. I'll see if I can do it. Candy Williams said, we're getting YouTube Premium help. No, because I'm not using YouTube Premium. These are just news websites. They're not YouTube. At least I don't have a YouTube open, do I? No. Not anything that you guys would be able to hear anyway. Yeah. Ah. Gambler says, Ping, you must have heard the shooter of the judge was found deceased. Yes, Argot. Argot was found dead today. Yep. Actually, here's a video we probably can watch if I can figure it out. Yeah, and then I can have a break for a second.
Can breathe a little easier this afternoon. Murder Pedro Argot, located deceased. This morning, Maryland State Police, along with other resources, were conducting an expanded systematic searches and in a heavily wooded area between Clear Spring Road and Bottom Road, approximately 1 mile northwest from where the suspect's vehicle is located. Argate was found deceased. His remains will be transported to the Office of the Medical Examiner in Baltimore for autopsy. Until the autopsy is complete, we will not be able to answer questions surrounding his cause or time of death. Thank you to the Washington County community for your support through this tough time for the last week. And we continue to keep the family of Judge Wilkinson in our thoughts during this most difficult time.
There we go. The world's shortest video. It says here the man accused of fatally shooting Judge Andrew Wilkinson in the driveway of his Maryland home was found dead Thursday, ending a week-long manhunt. The suspect Pedro Argot, that's how I'm going to pronounce it, 49, had been on the run since October 19th. Shooting of Wilkinson, a circuit court judge in Washington County, who hours earlier had ruled against his child custody dispute involving his estranged wife. At 11 a.m. on Thursday, a search in Williamsport led to the discovery of a deceased person who was positively identified as Argot. The Washington County Sheriff's Office said, "Pretty sure that, obviously we got our guy. The Washington County community can breathe a little easier this afternoon." Argot's body was found in a heavily wooded area about a mile northwest of where his vehicle, a Mercedes-Benz SUV, was found on Saturday. The U.S. Marshal Service had offered a reward up to $10,000 for tips leading to his arrest. Albert said that until an autopsy is complete, the sheriff's office does not plan to comment on the cause or time of his death. He added that Wilkinson's family was relieved to hear that the suspect's body had been discovered. Wow. Too many people are just losing their crap and then, taking it out on a judge or police or someone they don't like. Burnt Popcorn says he gave himself the ultimate penalty of death. Seems so. Seems he did. Well, I wonder, do you guys think that this other guy will do the same thing? What's his name? Robert Card. Do you think he will do something similar? Ah, Gambler says when you were reading the other article, there was a video in the bottom right corner, and it was about politics. Oh, we've gone and done it now, Gambler. We've talked about politics on this channel. It's all broken now. The trolls are going to come, and the Trump people are going to come and get me. Yeah, sorry about that. It seems that don't know why this happens on this particular computer, but sometimes when I plug in my headphones or my microphone, it switches the input, and then I can no longer hear anything through these headphones. So a video can be sitting there playing, and I have no idea it's playing. But if I play a video like deliberately, I can hear it. It's bizarre. And then I have to switch it to speakers, Realtek. And when I do that, I can hear everything just fine. It's very weird. Kazatia, hey Kazati, or Kazatia, whichever way it is, hey Kaza. It was really loud. Aw. Well, damn them to hell, Gambler. Damn them to hell. Damn them. Friggin' insert videos. No one likes them. They can just go away. Was it this one in the corner here? Is this the one you're talking about? Hold on. Let's see if I change the audio input. Let's see if I can hear it now. Is it this one? Isn't this about Mullane? Grace Mullane? Oh, because this one was silent. That's the CCTV of him. All right, now let's check the next one. Was it this one? If it's that one, then I'm sorry. Sorry about that. I can hear it now, but I couldn't hear it before. Otherwise, I would have turned it off because that's what I always do when I see a video that's playing. Yeah, I'm very sorry. That's okay. You got your daily politics update, courtesy of Ping. All right. Look, let's wrap it up for the night. Oh, duh, Ping, duh. You have to show them the page. Ping, you're getting tired. Getting tired and sloppy, apparently. It's this one. No? Sorry. It's this one.
On the final five. All right. So first things first, sir. Is somebody
Enforcement, that, making that job harder.
Oh my
than
god,
it
it's
has
like a
to be is just
5-minute
something we
video
cannot
too.
allow to happen.
It wasn't like a
you'd mentioned
30-second
that,
video. It
and
went
I'm
for like
glad you did, because
freaking
something that
5.
came
Oh,
up in
no
one of
wonder
the
you guys
debates
were
you had
annoyed.
with the Democratic
I was like,
candidate
why are you
Josh
guys annoyed?
Cole
This was only like
was
20
during his
seconds, and it was
previous
like a
stint
5-minute
in
video.
Richmond, where it's
Listen.
over. But
They're worried of mine, being in the military, being
Oh,
in this
guys, I'm
in this line of
sorry.
work.
I wish I knew that was playing. Mistakes, people, mistakes. I'm sorry about that. It's because I'm using a brand new microphone. I don't know if you guys can see it, but I installed it like an hour before, not even an hour, like half an hour before I went on with Trish, and I haven't had a lot of time to kind of fiddle with it and try and figure out how it works or what kind of quirks it has. And so this one's a little bit better. So a lot of times I get accused of being very quiet, and I can actually turn it up so you guys can hear it a lot more, and then you can turn it back down again, back down to the bottom. So this one's actually got a bit better range and things you can do with it. It also has this. You can tap it back again, and then you're back on again. So it's got like tap to mute. So I hope the sound quality, at least tonight, on this new microphone has been better than the old one. Better than my old microphone, because I was getting a lot of complaints about hissing and crackling and popping and um, just bad sound quality out of the old one. Oh, good. I'm glad this new one sounds good, because it was not cheap. So I hope it sounds good, because if it sounds bad, I'd have to return it, because these things don't come cheap. Nalana says yes, it sounds great. Oh, fantastic. Good. I'm glad the sound has sort of got better with this one. It is an interesting feature though that you can turn it up on the bottom there. Yeah, like see, it's very loud now, and then you can turn it back down. So yeah, I have a mustache. I do have a mustache. You just can't see it. I I have a mustache and a beard. You guys just can't really make it out. Kathleen says now if you would like to bring us closer. It's something I'm working on. I'm working on ways to do that and have it done so the camera can sit. Right now, that's unfortunately the only spot the camera can be in this room. We're still working on the back room. There's some issues with it. I think I've told you guys that when we moved last year, we packed up all the boxes and they're all in that back room. So when we painted that back room earlier this year, we had to pull all the boxes out and they were all in the dining room for like 4 weeks. And then we put them all back in the back room, and now I can't use the back room again because there's nowhere to put that stuff. So it was kind of like just a bad problem. So we have to figure out what we're going to do with the stuff in the back room, or we have to make storage to store it, and then I can use my new desk and the chair and have the camera come closer. So just something we got to actually get off our bums and do it. Me and Mrs. Ping, we've got to sort of stop being lazy and kind of get it done. All right, I will let you guys go. It is very late, and it's Friday here, Friday afternoon actually. It's 4:20 p.m. Friday in Melbourne, Australia. So it's got to be like 2 a.m. for you guys, right? Yeah, wait, what? Is it 1:19 a.m.? Okay. I thought it was way later than that. Eastern Daylight Time, 1:20 a.m. Okay. 1:19, 12:19. Okay. So for some of you it's 12:20 and some of you it's 1:20. Okay. Oh, Kazatia says it's 6:20 a.m. in the UK. In the effing UK. 10:50 for Shell Huffman. Well, Shell, you're in the West Coast, right? Shell's in California. So she's 3 hours behind the East Coast. Very lucky lady. She gets to only be 10 o'clock. Yeah, I don't know. I will work on the camera thing because what you guys don't know is this camera, this particular one you're seeing me on now, is the crap camera. I actually have a really good quality camera that I bought earlier this year, but it's a what do you call it? Like it's a wide angle close focus. So it's close and it's wide, but it can't sit anywhere here and the stand is quite large. So when we use it in the back room, it'll look beautiful. It'll look like cinema quality, HD, all that type of good stuff. But it can only be used in the back room, not in here. So we will get there. We'll get there. But I will tell Mrs. Ping that we have to fix the back room study and get it done. Make some storage and stuff like that. We just have to get it done. Cassatia says, Ping unites time. I do. I'm like the equator. I unite the world's time in the middle of the earth. Yeah, I don't want to keep you guys for too much longer because I think I'm being boring now. And I'm sure there's more interesting people to go watch than me. All right, guys, I'm going to wind down. I hope I brought you a couple of good updates. Don't ask for mushroom updates because I don't have any. When we do eventually get updates about Erin Patterson, I will let you know like as soon as it happens. But right now, nothing, zero, like not even a whisper. I reckon they may just let it go. Maybe they're just going to let it go and not do any charges. We'll find out. We'll find out if they don't do anything in like 6 months. But right now there's no new information. So. All right, guys. Love you all. Thank you for joining in, tuning in, chatting in the chat, and subscribing to this channel. It has been a wild ride to get this close to 500. Has been a real joy, and I hope we're going to just bring a whole lot of new people in with us. I really hope so. Hey, Nancy. Yes, good to see you. Haven't seen you in a while. Hope you've been doing good, Nancy. And I will see you. We're going to be back tomorrow night. I'm going to be back on tomorrow night. Yes, tomorrow night. I'll be back on around the same time and we'll do another live show with Ping on Nights with Ping live from Melbourne, Australia. Enjoy your Friday, people. I'm going to enjoy my Friday night and then I will see you Saturday afternoon for your Friday night. There you go. That was a mouthful. Good night, everyone. Have a great night and stay safe out there, okay? See you later.